All right, so here is 5 quick fitness tips. We'll be going over fasting, keto, cardio, sugar, and alcohol. As well as for next week, I'd like to do a Q&A, so please leave some questions down below. Start off, a big reason why I'm doing this video is there's a lot of misinformation in the fitness industry, and one of the things I always like to tell my clients, I always like to tell people is you can find a study proving almost anything in the fitness industry. It's just so convoluted, complex that people can twist, manipulate studies and research to prove a point. So it's really important to find good sources of information that you trust, and then of course doing your own information from that. So first up, fasting is not more efficient for fat loss. So again, this is another perfect example of why studies can be misleading, because fasting does increase fat oxidation or fat burning. However, it's not the whole story. So to get fat loss, it's essentially a balance in your body between storing fat, so fat retention, minus fat oxidation, how much fat you're burning. So while it's true, fasting does make you burn more fat outside of that fasted state. So as soon as you start eating food again, and this goes for fast cardio, fasting in general, you will essentially store more fat and or burn fat slower. So essentially your body does a great job of reaching homeostasis, and essentially when you dive into the studies, net end of the day, end of the week, end of the year, doesn't really do anything for you. It can be used, and I've used it as a calorie management tool, pushing your calories back if you eat more late at night, etc. But fasted cardio fasting doesn't inherently help that much. Next up is do not be fooled by these big keto fat loss, weight loss transformations. So a couple of the reasons why keto can be misleading is the fact that when you cut out carbs, you're cutting out the macronutrient that stores water. So when you hear people losing 10 pounds off of keto a week, their physique probably has not changed. They're just retaining a lot less water. You think about starting any sort of a cut, you lose 5, 7, 10 pounds of water weight within the first few weeks. Keto essentially speeds that up. And then of course, keto as a diet, any diet where you're restricting certain foods is probably gonna help you eat less. You know, I could say the same thing, like don't eat anything green, purple, red, or blue. You'll probably also lose weight from that. But from a health standpoint, carbs are your first source of energy. A lot of people don't do well on low carb diets, as well as you're losing a whole set of foods, you know, probably fruits, vegetables, grains. You're losing a lot of specific nutrients, vitamins, minerals, etc. So dreaded sugar, right? So here's the problem with sugar. So sugar in a vacuum, in and of itself, is not necessarily bad for you. The reason that sugar is correlated with things like heart disease and obesity is, one, it tends to be incredibly easy to overeat. So diets higher in sugar also tend to correlate with overeating and other unhealthy habits, but we'll kind of talk more about the first part of that, is the fact that, again, you know, a donut is typically much easier to overeat than ground turkey and broccoli. So that's one part of it. Being obese does increase the risk of heart disease, things like that. So that's that part of it, as well as sugar is not very nutritionally dense. So the other problem lies in when these sugary foods are replacing other healthy or more nutritionally dense foods. So the reason sugar tends to be bad is typically the balance of overeating and then not eating healthy foods. So that's not saying to go out and eat a bunch of sugar, again, for those reasons outlined, but, you know, a couple cookies a week, ice cream for dessert once a week is not going to kill you. It's just beware of following into those patterns that people that consume a lot of sugar typically do. Cardio does not inherently make you lose gains. So I see that far too often, especially right now. So first, we'll just start off assuming it did make you lose gains. That doesn't make it any less important. Most important muscle in the body is the heart. Have to train the cardio incredibly beneficial for longevity, for performance. And then getting into why cardio does not kill your gains is the fact that when cardio kills your gains, it's because you're doing too much cardio. Even just like doing too much weight training, doing too much, sports, doing too much of most things can end up killing your gains. The trick to cardio is treat it like your workouts. Plan it strategically. Maybe don't do a bike ride the day before your big squat day, but have cardio in there. I like a lot of low intensity, steady state. Anyone who tells you 30 minutes walking on the treadmill a day is going to hinder your gains at all is just wrong. And it's just start off at a gradual pace, something you can maintain cardio wise. Let your body adjust to that and then slowly increase your cardio. Make sure it doesn't hinder your results in the gym, but definitely make sure you have it. And cardio will also help your gains on higher rep sets. If you ever try to do a set of, 3 sets of 10 on squats, for 10 reps, most people's cardio will give out before their legs. And also doing, hour 15 workouts, the better your cardio, maybe the less you have to rest, maybe the better you feel after each set. And again, it's probably not a limiting factor if your cardio is good.
And lastly, we have alcohol. And this might sound stupid to a lot of you, but I've gotten this response so many times from people making a joke when I ask them if they drink alcohol. The half joke answer is yes, but only clear alcohol, only hard alcohol, because it has 0 calories. Alcohol inherently does have calories, even if it's not, beer. We know beer has calories because it's made from wheat, barley, whatever, but alcohol inherently has calories. The best way to explain it is just like the macronutrients. So fat has 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram. Alcohol in and of itself, without extra ingredients, has 7 calories per gram. So the easy way to think about it, one standard drink, so typically normal beer, normal shot of alcohol has about 100 calories. So about the same amount of calories as a tablespoon of peanut butter or an apple, to put into context. So there's that. It does have calories. And then, of course, when you start adding in the mixers, the sugary, everything else gets even worse. And then from a fitness standpoint, of course, everything's okay in moderation. Enjoy your life. Just know alcohol, it does tend to make it a little easier to store fat. It does hinder your REM sleep, so maybe your workout, your health the next day. And then just like sugar, it is empty calories. You are replacing what could be healthy meals with the alcohol, or you are overeating, which also is not good. So everything in moderation. But that pretty much wraps up my 5 quick tips. If you have any questions, comments, let me know down below. And again, I do plan on hopefully answering some questions in a Q&A next week. So leave any and all questions down below. Check the description, message me for online training, either at my Instagram or at my email, and subscribe for more. Thanks.